7 NATO warships. 4 nations committed forces, Pacific Theater. 89 Chinese sailors killed first NATO. Engagement direct combat. Taiwan Strait crisis transformed when British, French, Australian vessels crossed red line entering combat zone, supporting American forces directly. Alliance Article 5 not invoked intentionally. Political decision, voluntary contribution, each nation calculated, domestically approved. Chinese final warning ignored deliberately. Western Coalition Pacific War beginning, permanently reshaping regional balance, catastrophically, irreversibly. Distance from Europe eliminated. Global war reality demonstrated. Taiwan Strait vicinity, 14th dawn, breaking early light. American carrier Gerald R. Ford damaged previous engagement 48 hours prior. Torpedoed Chinese Type 093 submarine attack successful partial. 37 American sailors killed earlier. Ford mission capable, reduced steaming, 18 knots maximum safe speed. Flight operations continuing, reduced sortie rate. Destroyer screen USS Monterey, USS John Paul Jones, damaged but operational, continuing mission. Chinese plan formation scattered, retreating temporarily. 6 major warships sunk, mission killed previous 48 hours, American submarine. Tomahawk strikes devastating, but Chinese reinforcements deploying massive. Second carrier Fujian, arriving Hainan Island Naval Base. 14 destroyers, frigates, accompanying Type 05, Type 02D, modern capable. Chinese numerical advantage building despite losses, severe accumulated. American Pacific Commander Admiral Richardson requesting Allied support immediately, urgently, Washington, Brussels simultaneously. 13th evening, NATO emergency session convened, Brussels headquarters. American ambassador presents situation, starkly charts satellite imagery. Ford damaged, operational barely. Chinese reinforcements deploying, numerical superiority building. American surface fleet outnumbered, 3.1 regional waters theater. Request direct. Naval support, immediate deployment, combat operations. British Prime Minister decides 6 hours cabinet deliberation, heated debate. 2 destroyers deploying, Type 45, HMS Diamond, HMS Defender, most capable air defense. Parliament vote, rushed emergency session, 347-289, approving narrow margin. France follows, 2 hours later, President decides executive authority. Frigate Auvergne, deploying Toulon Naval Base. Australia commits immediately, Prime Minister, no hesitation, cabinet, unanimous. Hobart-class destroyer, HMAS Brisbane, HMAS Sydney, departing Sydney Harbour. Japan constitutional restrictions. Article 9 prevent direct combat participation, but logistics support maximum intelligence sharing, basing access, critical enablement. Total, 7 NATO warships steaming, Taiwan vicinity. Arrival time 48 hours, transit, maximum speed 28 knots. 15th, 11:47 a.m. British destroyers arrive, first formation joining. HMS Diamond, HMS Defender, entering American defensive screen, 180 miles east Taiwan. International waters confirmed. Type 45 destroyers, most advanced air defense Europe, possesses capability proven. Samson AESA radar tracking, 1,000 targets simultaneously beyond horizon. Aster 15, Aster 30 missiles, 48 per destroyer. Combined capability, massive. Chinese satellites tracking arrivals immediately. Yaogan series optical radar. Beijing responds sharply, publicly, Foreign Ministry statement. Foreign warships entering sovereign Chinese waters, Taiwan territory. Consequences, severe, promised retaliation certain. British Prime Minister responds, London Parliament direct. International waters freedom navigation exercised. Alliance supporting attacked ally, legitimate defense. Chinese response, immediate military, not diplomatic waiting. DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missiles launching Fujian province coastal bases inland. 6 missiles total targeting British destroyers, specifically message deliberate. Warning shots, political statement, military. Missiles trajectory, ballistic arc, 1,200 kilometers range. British crews detecting launches, immediately space-based infrared warning, American DSP satellites. Aster 30 Block 1 missiles engaging ballistic missile defense mode, never combat tested previously. Terminal phase interception, attempted geometry, difficult. 4 missiles intercepted successfully, explosion debris falling ocean. Capability proven real, unexpected Chinese assessment miscalculated. 2 missiles penetrate defenses, terminal velocity, Mach 10 impossible intercept radar geometry, unfavorable angle. HMS Defender hit starboard quarter 15th, 12:03 p.m. Warhead 500 kilograms, conventional high explosive. Explosion catastrophic, hull breached. 23 British sailors killed instantly, blast. 45 wounded, burns, shrapnel. Destroyer flooding, controlled damage parties, professional. Mission capable, severely reduced speed, 12 knots. Combat operations degraded, continuing. What's your prediction? Type A, NATO strikes retaliate, Chinese missile bases escalating decisively. Type B, NATO absorbs losses, continues defensive posture, avoiding escalation carefully. British Prime Minister emergency statement, Parliament 6 hours later, evening session. Attack unprovoked international waters location, coordinates confirmed, independent verification. Article 51, UN Charter self-defense, invoked, legal framework established. Retaliation authorized, cabinet, unanimous, limited, proportionate, measured response. British submarine HMS Astute, Trafalgar class, submerged South China Sea days, prior positioned, anticipating. Target coordinates transmitted, encrypted immediately. Chinese DF-21D battery, Fujian province, coastal position, identified, satellite reconnaissance confirmed. Tomahawk Block 4 missiles, launching submarine vertical launch tubes. 18 total flight profile programmed. Flight time 47 minutes, subsonic terrain following approach, low altitude. If you want understanding NATO-China Pacific escalation, subscribe now. Tomahawks reaching Chinese missile battery, 12:51 p.m. Flight complete. Chinese air defense engaging HQ-9, SAM systems activating. Radar tracking subsonic missiles, low altitude. 6 Tomahawks intercepted, destroyed, interception rate acceptable. 12 penetrating, hitting battery positions, precisely, GPS coordinates accurate. Launcher vehicles destroyed, 4 total TL platforms burning. Radar installations, S-band, X-band eliminated, blinded. Command shelter underground hit penetrating warhead. Fire control eliminated completely. 34 Chinese missile personnel killed, explosion shelter collapse. 67 wounded, varying severity. DF-21D battery combat ineffective, destroyed permanently, weeks rebuild minimum. British retaliation proportionate, measured, exact. Not escalating further, deliberately restraining response calculated, avoiding wider war intentionally. French frigate Auvergne, arriving formation, 16th, 3:14 a.m. Quietly, professionally. Captain Moreau, experienced Mediterranean operations, Libyan intervention veteran. Frem-class frigate, multi-mission capable. Aster 15 missiles, 16 total short-range air defense. Scalp naval cruise missiles, 16 total long-range strike capability, bringing tactical options. Australian destroyers HMAS Brisbane, HMAS Sydney, arriving simultaneously, 3:22 a.m. Hobart-class destroyers, American Aegis Combat System, Australian crews trained, Pearl Harbor, San Diego years. SM-2 block the Thrissui missiles, total combined 96 additional air defense capability, massive. NATO formation now combined. 2 American carriers, 4 damaged Eisenhower approaching. 6 American destroyers, 2 damaged operational. 2 British destroyers, 1 damaged HMS Defender. 1 French frigate Auvergne. 2 Australian destroyers, Brisbane, Sydney. Total 13 surface combatants, operational, varying capability. Chinese formation opposing, 1 carrier Fujian approaching. 14 escorts, Type 05 cruisers, Type 052D destroyers capable, modern, professional. Chinese submarines attacking 16th, 7:34 a.m. underwater warfare beginning. Type 093 Shang-class boat detected, Australian sonar system. HMS Brisbane towed array, passive sonar contact bearing 247 degrees. Contact 18 miles distance, closing speed 12 knots quietly. Brisbane Combat Information Center activating anti-submarine protocols immediately. Deploying helicopter MH-60R Seahawk Romeo variant. Dipping sonar AN AQS-22, lowering, confirming submarine contact definite. Torpedo dropped Mark 54 lightweight acoustic homing. Chinese submarine Type 093 detecting incoming torpedo, late reaction insufficient. Captain orders emergency deep evasive maneuvers, maximum speed. Countermeasures deployed, noisemakers bubbles. Torpedo seeker tracking undeterred. Impact 7:41 a.m. Hull breach, catastrophic flooding immediate. Type 093 sinking 400 meters, depth crush, depth exceeded. 98 Chinese submariners killed instantly. No survivors, possible rescue and possible depth pressure. Australian Navy first kill Pacific War engagement. Crew Brisbane professional quiet acknowledging gravity action, taken necessary reluctant. Second Chinese submarine type 093 different boat attacking. HMS Diamond simultaneously coordinated 7:38 a.m. UU-6 heavyweight torpedo fired 533-meter diameter targeting damaged British destroyer wounded prey. Diamond sonar detecting launch immediately hull-mounted array alert. Emergency maneuvers ordered hard turn port maximum rudder. Torpedo seeker active pinging tracking following relentlessly. Decoys deployed acoustic countermeasures Nixie towed. Torpedo confused briefly. Milliseconds reacquires lock maintained. Impact 7:43 a.m. port bow forward section. Flooding forward compartments, uncontrolled watertight doors failing. 18 British sailors killed, additional casualties mounting. 34 wounded, trapped forward sections. HMS Diamond sinking slowly, bow down attitude. Captain orders evacuation ship. Crew abandoning professionally, lifeboats deployed. HMS Defender alongside rescuing survivors, dangerous proximity. Diamond sinks completely, 8:12 a.m. ocean claiming vessel. Total British casualties engagement accumulated, 41 killed, 79 wounded. One Type 45 destroyer sunk, total loss. Price paid, alliance commitment, Pacific demonstrated expensively publicly. What would you assess now, commanding NATO Pacific forces? Type A, continue offensive operations, Chinese fleet pressing advantage. Type B, consolidate defensive protecting damaged vessels, withdrawing prudent. NATO commanders decide continue offensive operations. Window exists, tactical opportunity. Chinese reinforcements, Fujian carrier, not yet arrived, combat range fully. Carrier 340 miles south, approaching, steaming 24 knots, but not engaged position yet. Strike authorization granted, Allied commanders coordinated. French frigate Auvergne launching SCALP naval cruise missiles. 16th, 9:23 a.m., precision targeting. 8 missiles total targeting, Chinese destroyer formation concentrated. Australian destroyers HMAS Brisbane Sydney launching Harpoon Block 2 anti-ship missiles. 12 total, simultaneously different bearings. American destroyers USS John Paul Jones, USS Kidd adding Tomahawk anti-ship variant. 24 missiles total barrage. Combined strike, 44 missiles inbound Chinese formation simultaneously. Saturation attack, NATO doctrine, overwhelming defenses coordinated professionally. Chinese Type 055 cruisers, Nanchang Lhasa, activating air defense maximum alert. HQ-9B long-range SAM missiles launching intercept terminal defense. Type 1130 CIWS close-in weapon system, spinning ready rate 10,000 rounds minute. Type 052D destroyers adding HQ-16 medium-range missiles layered defense. 28 missiles intercepted, destroyed Chinese air defense, professional capable performing doctrine. 16 missiles penetrating reaching ships, successfully overwhelming saturation effective. Type 0052D destroyer Kunming hit 4 missiles, simultaneous impacts. Fires spreading, flooding, simultaneously competing damage. 89 Chinese sailors killed, explosion. 134 wounded, severe injuries. Destroyer sinking, stern first attitude. Type 54A frigate Yueyang hit 3 missiles, moderate damage structural. 45 killed, 67 wounded. Combat capable, reduced mission. Type 055 cruiser Nanchang hit 2 missiles, glancing impacts deflected, partially armor effective. 23 killed, blast, 34 wounded. Cruiser operational, continuing, reduced capability. Chinese formation damaged severely, continuing operational fighting, reduced strength. Subscribe. Watching NATO-China Pacific War escalation, alliance commitment, cost realistic coverage. Chinese retaliation, immediate, expected, anticipated. YJ-18 supersonic anti-ship missiles launching surviving destroyers, cruisers. 34 missiles total targeting NATO formation distributed. Missiles sea-skimming, subsonic cruise terminal sprint. Mach 3 supersonic difficult intercept. HMAS Sydney hit 2 missiles, 16th, 9:47 a.m. Simultaneously starboard side. Australian destroyer Hobart class fires, spreading engineering spaces rapidly. 19 Australian sailors killed, explosion. 41 wounded burn shrapnel. Destroyer mission capable, barely fighting fires. Damage control professional. French frigate Auvergne, evading successfully, captain maneuvering skillful. Missiles intercepted, Aster 15 terminal defense working. American destroyer USS Kidd hit 1 missile, additional damage accumulated, previous engagements compounding. 6 Americans killed, 14 wounded. USS Kidd severely damaged, barely operational, limping. NATO formation damage, continuing mission, accepting losses, continuing operations. Chinese carrier Fujian launching aircraft, retaliation, 10:14 a.m. response immediate. J-15 Flying Shark fighters, a 12 total carrier base, 4th generation. Armed YJ-83 anti-ship missiles, range 180 kilometers subsonic. Engaging NATO formation, attempting strike mission. American FA-18E Super Hornets intercepting, launching 4 damaged but operational sorties. Air combat ensuing, dogfight, 1st NATO-China, direct engagement airborne. AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles firing beyond visual range. 3 Chinese J-15s shot down, pilots ejecting over water. 1 American FA-18 hit damaged PL-12 missile, Chinese successfully. Pilot landing, forward emergency, arrested cable 3-wire. Australian destroyer HMAS Brisbane shooting down 2 J-15's SM-2 missiles, long-range intercept, 90 miles distance. Remaining 6 Chinese aircraft retreating, carrier mission failed. Strike mission aborted, losses, unacceptable, protection insufficient. Chinese carrier aviation capability demonstrated limited, American-Australian superiority, evident technology training advantage demonstrated. Russian Federation statement, Moscow, 16th afternoon. Kremlin, Foreign Ministry condemns sharply NATO expansion, Pacific theater unprecedented, warns consequences, severe undefined, if operations continue escalating, threatening. Offers mediation services, Moscow. Geneva rejected both sides immediately. China requests Russian naval support, South China. Sea Pacific Fleet deployment. Moscow hesitates publicly, uncommitted statement vague. Privately assessing options, calculating risk carefully. Nuclear powers direct confrontation, dangerous, unprecedented precedent, avoiding absolutely. Supplying weapons, China, considering intelligence sharing, surveillance, reconnaissance. Direct combat involvement, rejected, assessed, too dangerous, escalatory. Russian Pacific Fleet remains Vladivostok bases, observing, monitoring, neutral, officially supporting, diplomatically China only. 17th situation assessment, both sides, analyzing damage casualties soberly, honestly. NATO losses, accumulated engagement. HMS Diamond Type 45 destroyer sunk, total loss. HMS Defender severely damaged, mission capable, barely reduced speed capability. HMAS Sydney damaged, fires contained operational reduced capability fighting. USS Kidd additional accumulated damage, previous engagements severely degraded, barely operational. Total NATO personnel killed, combat, 66 sailors, British, Australian, American, combined nationalities. Wounded, 134, varying severity, burns, shrapnel, blast injuries. Medical facilities, carrier forward overwhelmed. 1 destroyer sunk, complete loss, irreplaceable, 18 months construction minimum. Significant casualties, alliance paying substantial price commitment, demonstrated publicly, expensively, unavoidably. Political pressure, domestic mounting casualties reported publicly, families grieving, questioning. Chinese losses, engagement, NATO forces accumulated, previous American operations compounding seriously. 1 Type 052D destroyer, Kunming sunk, total loss. 1 Type 054A frigate Yueyang damaged, mission capable, reduced operations. 1 Type 0555 cruiser, Nanjing damaged, operational, continuing capability reduced. 2 submarines destroyed, Type 093 Shang-class nuclear attack boats. 3 J-15 carrier aircraft shot down, pilots, some recovered, some killed. DF-21D missile battery destroyed, British Tomahawk submarine, retaliation. Total Chinese personnel killed, estimated engagement NATO, 287. Wounded, 412, treated facilities, Shanghai, Hainan military hospitals, overwhelmed capacity. Naval capability reduced further, significantly accumulated, previous American engagements. 6 major warships, earlier compounding losses seriously concerning. Chinese replacement construction accelerating, emergency priority shipyards. Dalian Shanghai, maximum capacity production mobilized. Do you think NATO involvement changes war outcome fundamentally? Type A and yes combined. Western capability overwhelming Chinese eventually? Type B no. Chinese numerical depth absorbs NATO addition insufficient decisive. Strategic implications, enormous, immediate, undeniable. NATO operating Pacific combat operations first time modern era, post-Cold War. Article 5, collective defense not invoked, intentionally avoided. Voluntary contributions, political decisions, each nation separately domestically approved parliaments. Alliance cohesion tested, strained visibly. Germany refusing participation, Chancellor statement neutrality preferred. Italy, Spain refusing contributions. Domestic politics preventing. Eastern European members, Poland, Baltic states focused Russian threat exclusively. Unwilling Pacific theater diversion resources needed European defense. Coalition fragmented, partially committed 3 nations only. Britain, France, Australia carrying burden. China noting divisions exploiting diplomatically propaganda, emphasizing Western disunity, weakness fractures. Regional nations calculating nervously, futures uncertain. Philippines president observing NATO commitment, carefully assessing reliability. Expanded American basing discussions. Subic Bay Clark Air Base accelerating talks. Vietnam hedging carefully balancing. Increasing Chinese pressure simultaneously. Western protection offered conditionally. Indonesia protest. Western military presence publicly. ASEAN neutrality emphasized. Privately allows logistics support Natuna Islands, quietly unannounced. Japan constitutional constraints, Article 9, preventing direct combat participation. Provides intelligence satellite reconnaissance, basing Yokosuka Kadena. Logistics critical enablement indirect. South Korea silent publicly government torn impossible position. Chinese economic ties 25% trade versus American security guarantee Seoul, hosting 28,000 troops. Conflicting pressures paralyzing decisions. International shipping disrupted catastrophically globally. Taiwan Strait closed completely, combat operations insurance unavailable, Lloyd's London declaring war zone. Container shipping rerouting, Indian Ocean, adding 3,000 nautical miles voyages, expensive delays. Semiconductor supply chain disrupted catastrophically. Taiwan TSC production vulnerable, representing 92% advanced chips globally. Samsung facility South Korea threatened proximity conflict. Global technology stocks collapsing 34%, Asian markets Hong Kong, Shanghai, Tokyo. Manufacturing supply chains, breaking automobiles, electronics, consumer goods, shortages predicted. Oil prices spiking $147 barrel Brent crude. Middle East Strait of Hormuz routes uncertain Iranian threats. Natural gas prices, Europe doubling energy crisis deepening. Global recession predicted unanimously, economists, G20 warning. Both economies. Western alliance, Chinese absorbing catastrophic damage simultaneously. Warfare, economic, financial parallel happening simultaneously, inevitably. NATO adaptation, ongoing learning, quickly combat experience. British Type 45 air defense capability, proven combat testing. Samson AESA radar performing excellently beyond expectations. Aster 30 Block 1 ballistic missile defense, unprecedented 4 of 6 DF-21D, intercepted terminal phase. Australian Aegis integration, seamless professional American doctrine training Pearl Harbor, effective demonstrated. HMAS Brisbane Sydney, performing identically American destroyers, interoperability complete. French Scalp missiles precision demonstrated 7 of 8 hitting targets accurately. Combined NATO capability, significant, meaningful, adding American forces substantially. Not decisive alone, never sufficient, single factor. Chinese numerical advantage, depth, vast territory, enormous resources, industrial capacity matching mobilizing. Chinese adaptation continuing simultaneously, learning, responding. DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missiles partially effective, 2 of 6 hitting targets acceptable. Capability demonstrated real, threatening Western carriers vulnerable. YJ-18 supersonic missiles capable, dangerous, penetrating NATO. Aegis defenses occasionally saturation working. Submarine warfare costly, expensive type EO-93 losses, 2 boats severe. Nuclear attack submarine construction accelerating priority response. J-15 carrier aircraft inferior. Western FA-18 capability technology training gap evident, demonstrated clearly. Chinese investing J-35 fifth-generation development accelerating. Technology gap evident current state. Narrowing gradually investments sustained years. Chinese strategy evolving learning. Numerical saturation overwhelming individually superior Western technology, countering quantity-quality debate, continuing resolve combat testing. Diplomatic efforts intensifying urgently desperately. UN Security Council paralyzed completely Russia-China, vetoing resolutions. Switzerland offering mediation services neutral ground, Geneva historical precedent. Both sides attending preliminary talks, secretly back-channel communications. Public positions hardened publicly, neither side yielding demands political impossibility domestic. China demands Western forces immediate withdrawal. Taiwan reunification process accepted interference ceased. NATO demands freedom navigation international law respected unconditionally Chinese aggression. Military operations ceased withdrawn. Positions irreconcilable fundamentally currently. War continuing accumulating casualties mounting both sides bleeding. Mediation efforts continuing secretly hoping breakthrough eventual exhaustion. Mutual recognizing stalemate unsustainable economically politically. Thanks watching Realistic NATO. China-Pacific War Alliance Escalation Analysis Comprehensive. Complete honest. Subscribe ongoing coverage coalition operations. Strategic implications, developments continuing. Share understanding actual coalition warfare. Complexity reality, NATO Pacific commitment, demonstrated publicly, real costs, acknowledged families grieving. Comment assessment, honestly, NATO involvement war, outcome changing decisively, fundamental shift or insufficient, ultimately limited impact question debated. Navy Force USA honest analysis respecting all participants. Professional military performance demonstrated both sides under fire, acknowledging complexity, uncertainty, fog war, reality combat. Alliance tested fire, engagement combat, first time. Commitment demonstrated expensively publicly, casualties mounting acceptable, politically questionable. Outcome uncertain war, continuing both sides adapting, learning bleeding simultaneously accumulating toward resolution, distant, uncertain, painful, eventual, hopefully,